creatine is hands down one of the most effective supplements out there for improving performance. It's the real deal. But there's this one persistent question that always seems to pop up, making people a little hesitant. So today, we are tackling that question head on.
All right, this is the big one. The number one concern you hear about everywhere. Is taking creatine going to make me feel all bloated and puffy? It's a totally fair question, and you know what? The answer is a little more interesting than just a simple yes or no.
Okay, let's just rip the Band-Aid off. The short answer, yes, it can. But, and this is a huge but, for most people, it's a really mild thing. It's temporary. And the best part? It's almost entirely preventable.
So, if we want to figure out how to prevent it, we've got to understand why it happens in the first place, right? Let's dive into the science. And don't worry, it's actually pretty straightforward.
It all boils down to one simple concept: water retention. See, when you start taking creatine, your muscles get really good at storing it. And creatine is kind of like a magnet for water. It literally pulls water right into your muscle cells. Just imagine your muscles are like sponges, just soaking up extra water. That's what's happening, and that's what gives you that full feeling. And this slide right here, this shows us the main culprit. On the left, you've got the loading dose. That's when you take a huge amount, like 20+ grams a day for about a week to quickly max out your muscles. This sudden flood of creatine is what usually causes that noticeable bloating. But then you look over on the right at the maintenance dose. It's way smaller. And guess what? The science shows it's just as effective in the long run with way fewer side effects.
Now, if you do that big loading phase, don't be shocked if the scale jumps up anywhere from, say, 2 to almost 7 pounds. But I need you to hear this loud and clear. This is just water weight. It is not fat. It's just a temporary shift in fluids that goes away once your body adjusts.
Okay, so we've covered the why. Now let's get to the good stuff, the most important part. What can you actually do about it? Well, it breaks down into a really simple and effective action plan.
Here it is, your 3-step toolkit. Number 1, and honestly, this is the big one, just skip the loading phase. You don't need it. Number 2, just stick to that smaller daily maintenance dose of 3 to 5 grams. You'll get all the same awesome benefits without the drama. And number 3, make sure you're drinking plenty of water. I know it sounds a little weird, drink more water to beat water retention, but trust me, it helps your body balance everything out.
And hey, want a couple more pro tips to really dial it in? Got you covered. Try to watch your salt intake, since a super salty diet can make your body hold on to more water. And finally, just be patient. Even if you do feel a little bit of bloat at first, it usually sorts itself out pretty quickly as your body gets used to things.
Now, really quick, let's talk about the actual creatine you're buying, because believe it or not, they're not all created equal, and picking the right one can actually make a difference.
Man, this table pretty much says it all, doesn't it? Creatine monohydrate. That's the original, the OG, the gold standard. It has the most research behind it, it's proven to work, it has an incredible safety record, and it's the cheapest. All those other fancy types with cool names like ethyl ester or hydrochloride, they make a lot of claims about being better, but there's just no solid human research to back it up. So, bottom line, just stick with the classic monohydrate.
All right, so we've pretty much put the bloating question to bed. But what about the bigger picture? Is this stuff actually safe to take in the long term? Well, the science on this is about as clear as it gets. Creatine is considered one of the safest and most well-studied dietary supplements on the planet, period. We're talking decades and decades of research all pointing to the same conclusion. For healthy people, it's got a fantastic track record.
Okay, this next part is super important, so listen up. When you take creatine, a marker in your blood called creatinine can go up a little bit. Now, doctors sometimes use high creatinine as a sign of kidney problems, but, and this is the key, in the context of taking creatine, this little bump is totally normal and expected. It does not mean your kidneys are suddenly in trouble. It's just a harmless byproduct of the supplement doing its job.
Now, with all that said, it's not a free-for-all for absolutely everyone. If you already have a kidney condition, yeah, you definitely need to talk to your doctor first. Same goes for kids and teens. They should really only use it if a doctor's in the loop. And there's some early research suggesting it might not be a great idea for people with bipolar disorder. So here we are, full circle. You now know that any bloating is temporary, and for the most part, totally preventable. You know that good old creatine monohydrate is safe and super effective. So the final question really comes down to you. Is a little bit of manageable temporary water weight worth all the proven benefits you're going to get for your strength, your performance, and your fitness goals? That's a question only you can answer.